Welcome to a series on my channel called Forge Review. Most of my time playing Halo MCC nowadays is on the custom game browser, the place where people go to play on their custom game modes, forge maps, and mods. I think this is the best place for a Halo fan to be because of its limitless replay value. If a particular piece of work gets popular enough, I will make a YouTube video discussing it. I will talk about what sparked my interest in the creation and the things I like about it. However, I will also talk about the problems I have with it, but I won't just talk about those problems. I will take it upon myself to address them, to end up with what I believe to be an improved version of the game mode. I will then make this improved version accessible for you, the viewer, to play on. Today, we are looking at Flood Inundation. Flood Inundation is a modded infection mode for Halo Reach created by Rabid Magic Man that attempts to replicate the Flood in a multiplayer setting. Human players get a variety of loadout options that mostly look normal, but there is also a loadout for a machine gun turret. This must have been a modded feature because you can't do this in vanilla custom multiplayer editing. Rabid Magic Man includes this mod loadout in several of his projects. Here's a more interesting loadout. One of the humans will be selected to play as the Oracle. You can fly around like in Forge mode and have an infinite focus rifle to simulate its I-beam. Whoever gets this loadout is probably going to be the most dangerous player on the entire round. What is it like playing as the Flood? Throughout the map, you will see these AI-powered flaming skulls on the hunt to take out human players. These skulls are meant to replicate the little infection forms. When it comes to the Flood players, the first loadout option is the combat form. You spawn with an energy sword and a different randomly selected weapon. However, your melee damage is significantly reduced, so your sword can't quite one-shot. Your grenade button is replaced with a leap button that launches you in the air across a far distance, like what they do in the campaign. The second loadout option is the Bomber class. You have no weapons or any melee potential. In exchange, your grenade button is replaced with a Hurl Parasite button that will spawn an AI infection form to assist you, and your armor ability is a self-destruct button. You will also explode when killed, though with a delay. The third loadout option is the Ranger loadout. The Ranger loadout has an infinite needle rifle and an infinite spiker. You can climb on walls to position yourself for a good shot, but you must stay stationary to use your weapons. The last loadout option is the Swarm. The Swarm loadout is a collection of infection forms that you control simultaneously. You can hurl parasites as well to overwhelm the enemy with even more. You also have the option to disband from the collection to only control a single infection form. You become very easy to kill when doing this, but you get melee damage in return, which allows you to do this. One mistake I made last Forge review about Air Wars was not discussing how much work was put into making the maps. I love them. The maps made by the community are beautiful and fun. Air Wars has also went through a number of changes since my original review. I would at some point like to revisit it. The maps made for Flood Inundation are just as good, if not better. You could definitely notice the inspiration from the campaign levels. Not only does this give them a warm feeling of nostalgia, but it also improves the gameplay experience with the detailed level design of those missions. Keep it up, Forgers. The Flood gameplay is very unique and unlike anything I've ever seen in this franchise. I love playing as and against these loadouts. It is so satisfying getting a bomber kill, and even more satisfying getting a raw infection form kill and taking over their body. I love outlasting the Flood when playing as a human. Getting the Oracle class is one of the best experiences I've ever had in Halo. Having a Flood infection mode is one of the most obvious and fun additions 343 could have made to make us happy. The fact that modders and fans are basically carrying this franchise making content like this, that is way more fun and interesting than anything official within the past 15 years, is something I believe Halo Studios should be very ashamed of. I love this mod. I want to keep playing and see the mod continue to evolve. But it's already so good, I'm not sure what more there is to do. There are a few issues I'd like to bring up. Early game, I have personally found it harder to play as the Flood classes than the human classes. Once you get a few kills down, it becomes a manageable, balanced fight, but I find it very difficult to actually get those initial kills when I'm one of the first infected players. The two best strategies I've found have been to either spam the combat class and hope RNG gives you a good weapon, or to spam the swarm class and wait for the right moment to disband in melee. Using the swarm strat, I find myself losing track of where my enemy is the moment I disband. My health is so low that I don't have enough time to reprocess the environment before getting one-tapped. Using the combat strat, you don't always get that good weapon, so I usually find myself not being able to reach the damage thresholds needed to make progress against larger groups. This might be a hot take. I don't think the machine gun turret loadout is a good fit for this mod. I'm all for having mounted turrets that you can take with you, but I think the loadout option to spawn with one is a little too much power to give to the human team, especially when they already have an Oracle and a Sniper class. I got a hold of the game type file and just decided to hide this loadout. In return, I'm also nerfing the AI infection forms. Could we get some kind of buff to the bomber class? You can get some sneaky kills with it here and there depending on the map layout, but generally I don't find many situations where I can actually get close enough to human players to land kills. Is it possible to give them a health or shield bonus? Larger blast radius? More damage output? Could you give it a damage boost to vehicles specifically? Don't give it a speed boost, that's just unfaithful. Perhaps they could have a radar jamming effect to make ambushing easier. I would like to just see something done. Speaking of damage boost to vehicles, I don't find there being much vehicle counterplay for the Flood team, especially air vehicles and tanks. To be fair, these maps tend to not have those. If there can be counterplay to them, I think their inclusion would be interesting. For ground vehicles, I think a great method of counterplay would be to add a tank class for the Flood. Perhaps it would only be available in the later stages of the round. They could be equipped with a gravity hammer or golf club, have lots of health to take hits, but wouldn't be very agile and would be a melee only class to compensate. I swear to God, there was once a Halo Reach mod I played that turned the plasma turret into a flamethrower. I forgot which one it was, but I swear that's out there somewhere. I think that addition to a Flood mode of all game types would be perfect. A perfect Flood-specific counter. I guess the sacrifice there is you gotta take away the original plasma turret. But maybe it'd be worth having on a map that doesn't have plasma turrets anyway. I personally don't like the nighttime variant of the game mode that makes the map dark and harder for humans to see. I get what they're going for with trying to exploit the horror aspect of the Flood, but I find it too taxing for the human players. When I host this game type, I'm going to disable this feature. Maybe I could only include it for select maps that it fits well with. Overall, these issues are small and maybe subject to me just getting better at the game type. I look forward to continuing to play Flood Inundation. What Forge mode would you like me to review next? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe. Would you like to play this mod as well? Keep in touch in my Discord for when I start next channel game night. You can also find them often on the custom game browser.